Hey people, Injured here, 1v1, Ashes of Typhon, blue side. It's Ruthless at heart with a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist who can infiltrate and disrupt, some powerful offense and a bit of support up against. The Tenso is a Farseer support hero fighting in melee, some powerful buffs and control. Double Termagants it is, and Banshees for the Tenso. Now where are the Banshees going to go? Are they going to go west to contest that Lictor Alpha, which is most likely where they're going? They're going to go up here and harass the Guardians. Might be a good idea to have the Banshees there. Throw a surprise party for that Lictor Alpha. They're going to grab the wreck point first, but then what do they go? We have these contested-ish power points on the eastern edge. Typically don't see much action, but you've got to cap them. And probably node them. Very rarely you see gens on them. And you never see gens on the contested central one. Lictor Alpha also grabbing the wreck point, but those guys are going to have a bad day. Looks like the Banshees are going east then. Maybe try an early push through onto the power. Double Termagants go mid. I don't think they want to try a flank because Banshees would be on their retreat path then. We might see early grenades or something. They expect Rangers up for the Tenso to help spot the sneaky Lictor Alpha. But after that, a Guardian weapon team most likely, or maybe double Rangers into tier 2 and then look for a Falcon. I don't think you want Wraith Guard on this map because they can get flanked around these crater edges, although maybe if you play it with Banshees nearby you could do some work to help protect them. And most likely double Raveners maybe from Ruthless, or maybe Barb Strangler and then Raveners. Depends when and if the Guardian weapon team comes out. I think if we Guardian weapon team quickly, we're going to see Raveners first. Lictor Alpha looks like he flesh hooked one of the Guardians maybe and starts decapping that wreck point. These guys are going to tickle him with their shuriken catapults. There we go. He is partially revealed there, which does give him a little bit of a range damage reduction because you can't infiltrate while you are capping something. Here come the Banshees. And they're really bad news for a Lictor Alpha at this much health at level 1. Rangers on the way for the Tenso. It is Raveners immediately for Ruthless. Meanwhile, attempting to touch the power here is the Tenso. I don't think they're going to be able to. The Formagants and double Termagants in play. And here's your Ravener Brood. These guys start with ranged Devourer weapons and they can burrow strike to disrupt. Can shoot up these Banshees, but I think they're going to get a decap before they get forced off there. Rangers getting shots in from long range. Clue is in their name. They can get Pathfinder gear, which gives them some nice support abilities. Ouch. Formagant's getting in there though, and we do have Adrenal Glands up. And Toxin Sacks, excuse me, for the double Termagants. Yep, both of them. They can bash pretty fast, you know. Look at that. That was one burst. Formagants forging ahead to try and create some space for the Termagants to bash. The Banshees did indeed get away. Here they are. They did get the decap as well. I saw on the map. 484 to 500. Formagants down to 2 models, but they do get away. And the Termagants did bash the power. Was it worth it? Losing 5 or 6 Formagants there. I'm not sure how many there were when they started to rush in. There's the crippling poison on the Farseer, and look at that damage now. Guide goes up on the Guardians, improving their damage output and their range. That's a starting ability of the Farseer. Pretty damn good one too. Lictor's being sneaky on the east side, sensing a power push, I think. Could Banshees go for a flank here? Through the mid? Using the Pathfinder gear. Oh, they don't have it yet. Those Rangers didn't fully reinforce, but you mainly have them for the sniper rifles, so having them at 3 models isn't essential. Banshees knock down the Lictor. Grenade goes in. Pushes those guys back. Banshees now could be in trouble. Yeah, that would have been a really devastating volley of ranged fire if they didn't retreat. Guardians hanging out in the mid. They do have their battle equipment, both of them, I think. Yep. Now, is Ruthless going to get more Raveners out, or do they go tier 2 here, look for their specialized synapse, maybe a Venom Brood with that ranged synapse and a vehicle deterrent? So I think Tenso is going to look for the Falcon. 484 to 500 on the VPs. No VPs lost so far for the Tenso. The Rangers now do have their Pathfinder gear. There's that kinetic pulse, just to stop them shooting, I guess. Guardian Weapon Team needs to move up a bit, buddy. Is this tree cover, or is it a shot blocker? Looks like it would be cover. But you never can tell. There's some weird properties in the objects that you unfortunately can't change. Looks like it is a cover item. Guardian are going to be caught. There's the flesh hook. And that guy died. Or we have the toxin miasma for the Lictor Alpha, not to be confused with the toxic miasma for the Ravener Alpha. This is a weapon, does damage over time and a debuff on hit. And he gets a green effect on his, what would you call them, hands? I think you'd call them hands. He doesn't seem to attack with his hands though. It'd be cool if there was a sync kill where he kind of pierced you with his claws and then ripped at your guts with his hands or something. Grenade. I think they've waited too long. There's the attempt, but I think it's too late. Yep, Hormagaunts get away clean. Farseer on the decap of the VP there. Oh, it's tier 2 for Ruthless, so they are going for some specialized synapse. Early, I think. I don't think we'd see a zone flip or anything. It's too vulnerable to Banshee flanks. Double Termagants moving up the west side. They can grab the VP and the wreck point there. Power harass from the Tenso. Where's that Lictor Alpha? Coming out of base. Getting on the points very quickly here is the Tenso. It's the Guardian Weapon Team trying to bash that power at close range, that node over there. Flesh hook. That guy's gonna die. I think a flesh hook and one hit from the toxin miasma is enough to kill him. To kill a Guardian model or miasma, whatever it is. Uh-oh. Termagant's gonna be on retreat path after eating a grenade. Banshees are there. Guide was thrown up on the Guardians too, but here comes some help from Ruthless just in time to save those Termagants from more losses. Banshees actually quite lucky to get that special attack there. Hormagaunts would have been munching on them, and they would have dropped a model or two more, I think, maybe even wiped. Now, can the Tenso defend their power here? Raveners will grab the VP. I think they can. Those guys don't have a grenade available. We saw them throw it. These guys do, though. Just trying to create some space. It should be your first move against melee if you don't have a specific melee counter. Just try and create some space. Leaves room for ranged squads to do their thing. Leaves room for grenades. Leaves room for the melee player just to make a mistake. These guys are still bashing this node. Is that the best use of your time, fellas? Oh, Ruthless has gone for a warrior brew. Going for that adrenal glands with a melee synapse of the Hormagaunts. On the Hormagaunts, I should say. So they went through tier 1 without a synapse creature, but now they have one. Banshees finding the Raveners. Couldn't quite get a model off them though. Banshees at full models, but they are down to like 2/3 of their health there. I think they're going to try and get a decap though. Kicking off on the east side. Grenade is dodged. Termagant's doing a good job here. They're going into melee. They are. Bless them. Lictor Alpha must have used the flesh hook already. Goes for the deadly jump now, which is a pretty deadly jump. Assault leap. 35 piercing damage on landing. Just fantastic in general to give this Lictor some more mobility and stuff to get into the back lines. Going to jump over the crater edges as well to get to the VPs maybe. Are they going to get a cap? I think the Banshees. Here comes the Warrior Brood to try and stop them. Rangers getting shots and they can't get the cap. There's those adrenal glands. Gives them heavy melee damage, a buttload more health, 65% more health, more melee skill, and of course the melee synapse for the Hormagaunts if they're close by. Up to 1732 hit points at level 1. It's not bad at all. Their heavy armor is very vulnerable to plasma and power weapons. So the Banshees would give them a hell of a fight, that's for sure. Especially with their Exarch. You have the aspect of fleetness. But no Exarch yet. Here's the Falcon then for the Tenso. A transport vehicle Can reinforce units in the field and ferry them around. Also gives you a decent amount of fire output. Rippers are annoying it here. The Falcon's weapons, or one of the weapons, can actually damage vehicles reasonably well. So probably a Venom Brood now for Ruthless, eh? It's unlikely that a Warrior Brood is going to be able to get enough attacks on this thing to pose a massive threat. Here are the Warrior Brood. They need to get onto rear armor, I think. So tell me the DPS here. 30 heavy melee DPS per model. Not bad at all. Looking for a grenade. Are these Guardians? Those guys were live to it though. Warrior Brood very determined to bash that power gen. Oh, those guys couldn't chuck another grenade because they got knocked over by the warriors as they turned. 410 to 347. Here is the Venom Brood. And immediately they have the ranged synapse, which will buff the Termagants and the Raveners, since the Raveners are not in their melee state here. Tier 3 for Ruthless. Going to be looking for a Carnifex, I assume. But maybe we'll see a Neurothrow. I imagine it's going to be the Carnifex though. Maybe a Thornback just to charge on through. Get some rear armor hits on the Falcon while the Venom Brood come in maybe. Here's the west side. Banshees with the Exarch. Where is she? There she is at the front there with her mirror swords. Eldar take the Eastern VP back. Hormagaunts grab their VP back. Power back. And oh no, the Rangers are gone. When did the Rangers go? Completely missed that. I don't see their bodies anywhere. Must have been somewhere on the east side, right? I don't see them on the west side. Can we spot the Ranger bodies? Don't even remember the last time I saw them. Nope, I don't see them anywhere. Maybe they died near base. Don't see them. Maybe you guys spotted it. Maybe it was right on the screen. The Farseer has her Ghost Helm, giving her Mind Warp. It's a good shout. You can use it to instantly shut down and suppress the Ravener Brood so they can't fire their Venom Cannons. And pretty useful for angry melee Tyranids trying to get in there. Having to back off. There's the Burrow Strike. The Shuriken Cannon did avoid it. Do they have time to get grenades off? They don't. The Farseer might fall. That was a pretty crazy leap into combat there from the Warrior Brood, and they do get the Farseer. Just couldn't quite put it together on that fight, the Tenso. Caught kind of flat-footed, tried to back off, tried to create space for the Shuriken and the grenades, but the Ravener's Burrow Strike at just the right time to mess up the grenades. There's a Shuriken now. Suppresses the big blob. Opening up for Banshees maybe. Nope, they get crippled. There's another cripple in there, of course, from the other squad. Lictor Alpha on the way through the middle. Level 2. Don't think we've seen him Assault League yet, have we? There's tier 3 for the Tenso. Ruthless must be going for the Carnifex then. Unless they're going mental and waiting for a Swarm Lord. Lictor gets into a lot of Banshee trouble there. Banshees with the War Shout suppressing these surrounding units. It's a really good War Shout grenades maybe. There's one on those Termagants. Really good hit. Almost whacked him out. Warrior Brood trying to get onto the Falcon. Banshees clean up the Termagants. Another grenade. Really well managed fight by the Tenso there. Really well managed. The Banshees did an amazing job. Got a really good War Shout. Came in with the grenades. And the Tenso should be able to push on. Onto the power maybe. Grab the VP definitely. Falcon's been amazing. Ruthless losing both of their Termagants Brood. No, losing one of the Termagant Broods. The Hormagaunts were also dropped. Were they dropped in this fight though, or somewhere else? I don't know. The Hormagaunts be dead. Carnifex is on the way though. Gonna bash the Capillary Tower. Oh, here comes the Venom Brood. Look at that. Bloody hell. Seems like even more damage than usual from those fellas. Webway on the eastern side for the Tenso. The Falcon needs repairs. There we go. Guardians will do that. I don't think they're going to go for a power bash then. We do have a Carnifex up. No upgrade yet. Need some more power for that. I'd probably go Barb Strangler because I love that thing. But maybe it'll be a Thornback to really mess up the Banshees. Yeah, maybe a Thornback would be better because you could just charge the Shuriken. But also maybe force it to get a Bright Lance. Falcon gets the tier 3 energy field here. Just walking through those Guardian shields, Ravener Brood with a Burrow Strike into melee. And are we going to see a Barb Strangler Carnifex then? It should be called a Strangled Thorn Cannon, apparently. I think it was set to be changed to that, but I guess it just didn't go through for 295. That's what your Barb Strangler can do. Look at that damage on the Banshees. These guys are going to have a bad time as well. I think they're going for grenades. Boom. They got one of the grenades out. I don't think any of them died actually. Yeah, the damage evenly spread from the Barb Strangler, but it's a hell of a lot of damage. You can also damage vehicles if you can hit it, since it's got that plasma cannon damage. You can bash some power with it. Lictor Alpha cleaning up the west side here. Look at that. Do we have the... Oh, we do have the Lone Hunter. Does 50% more damage, takes 25% less damage when not in radius 30 of an allied unit. So fantastic for the west side of this map, eh? Here comes a Fire Prism for the Tenso. It'll help control the Venom Brood with those knockbacks and put pressure on the Carnifex from long range. Lictor Alpha dealt with by the Banshees, level 2. Farseer back to her feet, level 2. 252 to 237 on the VPs is very close. These Guardians here are going to take the Eastern VP back. We can see that they have their Warlock leader there. Barb Strangler hits, ouch. Maybe they're not going to take it back then. Barb Strangler's painful, you guys. They didn't even try to back off, they just retreated the hell out of there. Shuriken holds up the infantry, but there's the Burrow Strike. Those guys duck into the Falcon just in time not to get knocked over. Guardians might be looking for a grenade on the Raveners. Gonna take some shots though. Using their Embolden there, which boosts their damage output and their damage resistance for 10 seconds or so from that Warlock leader. Here's the Fire Prism. Really long range fire support from this thing. Has the disruptive dispersed shot as you see there. Also has a more focused shot mode for large targets, which will also knock things back I believe, but just not over a large area like that. And we have a Lictor out for Ruthless at heart in tier 3. Here it is. With the heavy melee weapon, maybe it can patrol the west side with the Lictor Alpha. Although it would stop the Lone Hunter from proccing. Uses the Assault Leap to get away from the Banshees there, down to 2 models these ladies. 237 to 203. Tyranids do not overextend for the power bash. I mean, it's pretty bashed up already. Falcon gets more repairs, it's done really well. And it's a second Fire Prism for the Tenso. Is that going to be a critical mass of firepower on the east side to overwhelm the Tyranids? That Carnifex is already quite low. Here's that tier 3 Lictor. This guy has a Flesh Hook and a Leap and heavy melee damage and can infiltrate without losing energy. In many ways better than the Lictor Alpha really. What about the health though? Yeah, look at that, 1150 health at level 1 too. It's pretty cool. And faster capping, right? Yeah, faster capping trait. He's a badass. Venom Brood get the reinforcements. Looks like they were forced off the east side already while I was blabbing about the Lictor. Shields going up maybe? Doesn't seem like it. Those guys going for the cap. They got the decap. Falcon out in front. Shield doing its job. And can they even approach double fire prisms there? Here's a burrow strike on those Guardians, but that's a lot of firepower waiting for those Raveners there. Carnifex needs to be careful. Double fire prisms can pop it down pretty well, especially at that much health. Tyranids back off, but can they get the VP there? The red Eldar. Tenso's Farseer getting smacked around by double Lictors on this side. Here come Guardians, not sure what they're going to do. They both use their flesh hook. There's a leap from the tier 3 Lictor. And terrifying. Gets a good special too. Does around 90 odd DPS, I think, the Lictor. Need to check on that actually. Might have been changed. Oh, he got mind ward by the Farseer, then has to run away. Got a decap though. Power bash from the 3 Eldar vehicles on the east side. How are they going to deal with this? They have double Venom Brood now. Need to try and keep them spread out, so a single fire prism can't knock them both over like that. But it's much easier said than done. Ravener Brood get the burrow strike. Shuriken must flee. The Falcon there showing rear armor, which is not smart. It's level what? Level 2. Oh, it's turned around. There we go. Yeah, those fire prisms are being awesome here. They might. Maybe they should try a flank. Try and get one of the Venom Brews around the mid. Look at that. Hard for them to get their damage on. They have to chase down this Carnifex here. And look at that range. Ruthless with plenty of resources. Doesn't have a lot of population limit though to get anything big and stompy. When it was worth just letting those termagants die to try and get another Carnifex up with a Venom Cannon or something. Well, now they have some population because they did indeed chase down that Carnifex. Kicking off on the natural VP of blue. Farseer with that red debuff circle from the Toxin Miasma. Level 4 Lictor Alpha here. A level 2 Farseer. Can they deal with these vehicles? They're not trying to go through the mid. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. You can't go face first into this. The Venom Brooders can't make it work. You've got to try to go around. Or maybe get the tier 3 Lictor to go around, because on rear armor, that thing would tear through a fire prism pretty well. Especially the level 1 fire prism. But obviously they want to get these VPs under control on the west side if they can. And they're going to get a 2-to-1 cap here. Ruthless. Here comes another Carnifex. What's it going to be this time? Venom Cannon maybe to try and stand and trade. Trade shots. What is that? Oh, you have the Gravity Blade. Mistimed. So she just floats around for nothing. That levitation field. Terrorizing this west side, these 2 Lictors now. But here come the fire prisms. Now can they jump behind them? Oh, the Lictor's being sneaky. Trying to get on the rear armor here. Smack. Look at the damage. Goes after that level 1 fire prism. That was a passive leap there. There is the assault leap. Gets on rear armor. It's not being targeted by the other fire prism, so it's not being knocked over. Can they get it here? A couple more hits will do it. There's another little passive leap. Smack. And smack, and they get it. Well played, Lictor. Got level 2 out of it. 157 to 157. Tyranids pushing the east side again. Falcon is here, Shuriken is here. Did they burrow strike? There it is. The Tyranids are, I think, going to get a decap at least, unless the fire prism can get here and shoot those guys. Nope, there's the decap. Webway goes down as well. Venom Brood trying to create an angle on the fire prism, I think, but then they think again. Here's the Carnifex. What have they gone for? They have indeed gone for the Venom Cannon. Bioplasma. A good tool to use to fight caps as well, the Bioplasma. Grenades. Uh-oh. They got the Falcon, but they ate a couple of big grenades. Those guys lucky to escape. 29 hit points on those fellas. But they're down to a single fire prison now, the Tenso. Out of their 3 Eldar vehicles pushing the west side. Banshees alongside that Farseer. Uh-oh. Flesh hooked. Jumping in is the Lictor Alpha. Oh, the tier 3 Lictor is a detector as well. Is there anything he can't do? That's pretty awesome. Oh, couldn't get both of them in the levitation field. And that Lictor is smacking around those Banshees. Needs something else on this side. Oh, they have a Seer Council now. I assume those guys will mess up a Lictor. 157 to 110. Carnifex took a lot of damage, but backs away. We do have a Bright Lance now for the Tenso, and these guys were level 3, so that's a dangerous Bright Lance. Up the west side, the double Lictors going for some decaps. Seer Council are busy capping, to be careful not to knock them off your own cap with your vehicle there. Where's that Carnifex? There it is. I can't find it on the roster there. It's got some health back. Seer Council here to soak up a bunch of damage, and they will do a massive amount of damage against infantry here. It's a squad of warlocks that can leap into combat with power weapons. Look at that. Just brute force their way through there. And down goes the Carnifex. They really bring Eldar a different dimension in tier 3. They can kind of just run through stuff, you know, and get things done. On the west side, retaking the VP, and the Farseer is going to fleet all the way down to the VP, I imagine, down here. Here comes a Genestealer Brood for Ruthless to try and fight that Seer Council. Fire Prism could do with some repairs, but the Guardian Weapon team is not the fellas to do it. Banshees jumping over stuff. Gonna get a decap. Level 2 Lictor and a level 4 Lictor Alpha. There's a jump. Does it knock him off the cap though? No, doesn't knock him far enough away to stop it. Farseer, where's the guide? No guide, she's kind of just standing there. I think she used Mind War instead. And now gets them in the levitation field east side meanwhile. Bright Lance is going to fall. Maybe? Yep. Goes down. Double cap for the Tenso here. Where are the... Oh, there they are. Seer Council using the webway. Bad news for Warrior Brood. Almost level 2 already, these fellas. And they retain the east side. Double cap for Tenso. Oh, the Farseer died. I thought she was gonna levitation field and then run away, but apparently not. Gonna get their VP decapped. The Banshee's not using the webway. Maybe they didn't want to reveal it to the Lictor. Lictor's a detector anyway, though. Farseer uses it. Did he just knock over his own Lictor Alpha? That was amazing. Eldar pushing through the east side, got a full power bash. And tearing through stuff, this Seer Council here. Here come the Genestealers. Melee superiority unit. And you scared off the Seer Council. They already took a bunch of damage though. Genestealers are just badass. They've gone for their Rending Claws too. Gives them heavy melee. Those guys gain health on hit. And they have the Adrenal Rush to boost their speed and boost their damage and boost their health gain even more. Also gives them some damage resistance, I believe. Adrenal Rush is pretty damn good. Lictor Alpha doesn't have a heavy melee weapon, but goes to the rear armor of the Fire Prism. Does some work. And gets knocked over. The Genestealers on the east side capping. They infiltrate passively if they are left idle. Well, if they're just not moving, since they're capping there and they still infiltrate. Venom Brood here down to a single model. This is bad, I think. Yeah, I don't know if they can fight Banshees and the Seer Council without melee synapse. Melee Synapse is now there, but too late to save him. 72 to 89, 2-to-1 cap for Ruthless at heart. Fire Prism took so much damage so quickly there. But survives. Double Guardians to repair it. And Seer Council on capping duty. Don't see anything up the west side. Where is that Lictor Alpha? Looks like they are going there. The Tier 3 Lictor is with them. 68 to 88. Webway is actually being very useful here for the Tenso. Can they get this thing? Farseer with the Armor of Fortune now. Level 2. Time Field would be so useful on that east side, but she's spending a lot of her time on the west side, so she's trying to build herself to deal with 2 Lictors, which is not easy for a Farseer. There's a levitation. Can disable them like this. Here come a bunch of Tyranids though. So your council here. Gonna go after the capping Lictor Alpha, I assume. He jumps away, kind of. It's a very small jump there. And goes down. See your council rip him apart so quickly. Eldar still have the east side. Needs to be careful about how they split things here, the Tenso. Here comes a Fire Prism. It's exactly where the Fire Prism went down last time, where the Lictor jumped onto the rear armor of it. Maybe a bit more life to that threat now. It's being sneaky. There's a jump. Venom gets some shots in and the Lictor gets it. Exactly the same, basically. Well, the Venom Brew helped out a lot this time. Taking out 2 Fire Prisms, that Lictor has done really well. 46 to 87 on the VPs. Here comes a D cannon for the Tenso. Grenades is a good hit on the Gene Stealers there. Not sure what the Venom Brood are up to. Running into Banshees. Level 3 Venom Brood though. East side meanwhile. Here's that Lictor again. Level 3. Goes after the Webway. And those guys are just going to go after the VP. Nope. They're trying to take that Lictor out. Just jumps away, of course. But that means he can't activate the infiltration. There we go. I think you need 5 energy to activate it. But then it doesn't drain. Oh, trying to formation for Ruthless on the west side. Messed up some Eldar, I guess, but they are getting the caps. And Seer Council are capping the east side too. So there's going to be a 2-to-1. Another Webway being built over here. 45 to 46. So very close. Double Gene Stealers now for Ruthless. Awesome. These guys without their Rending Claws. This is how they have power weapons. And the Rending Claw fellas on the east side with the double Lictors. Surely that's enough to do with the Seer Council here. It is. They got torn up there. Being debuffed, of course, by the Lictor Alpha as well. Oh, and they have the Menacing Visage. I wonder how long they've had that for. 18 to 46. Meanwhile, on the red VP, what is this? Oh, that's a Singularity. Ouch. They found the Webway. Can they get the cap though? The cannon's going to need to back the hell off here. Warrior Brood will knock him over. Like that. 15 to 46. Farseer gets a sync kill on the Lictor Alpha there. That must have been very satisfying. Lifts you into the air. Oh. Ruthless has conceded, I believe. Because this would have been capped. And I guess they felt they couldn't hold the west side. Oh, these guys were in base. They would have been messed up. Yeah, they were just about to get torn up by the Banshees there. And the Seer Council were in there. Hell of a close one. Ruthless fought it to the end. Really enjoyed those Fire Prisms versus the Lictor fights. Those were awesome. Level 6 Lictor Alpha. And a level 3 Farseer. Awesome back and forth. Great job to both players. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.